DBS community, welcome back to another video here with Kyle Chris. Today we're going to be going over the next main archetype that was shown off for the anniversary box, which is going to be the Miracle-Geta, or how I'm going to call it in this video, Miracle-Geta, just because I love these Geta names, right? So big thing is you'll see with these videos, I'm not releasing these in color order. Obviously, all three of the red archetypes were announced first, but I am going to go through and do all of the Z leader archetypes first. So everything that received a Z leader is going to get a video first. Then we'll go back and do all of the other cards, and we will wrap it up at some point with doing a breakdown over the entire anniversary box and just going over what seems to be viable or what could be viable in a future meta, and what doesn't feel like good support at all. So we are, as I said before, we are going to go over Miracle-Geta. Truthfully, I've never seen this deck actually played in person. I've never seen anyone even touch this deck. So the fact that it got support is very interesting to me. I did want to take some time to look into the archetype and just the deck itself and see if I found anything that made it interesting. And I think there is something there to what makes this deck potentially tick. So we're going to go over the leader, as well the 3 new cards, and then a deck profile at the end of the video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. This is the awakened side of the Miracle-Geta. You are a draw 1 when you attack. That's pretty normal. Then you have this other effect, activate main. Choose 1 card in your life, place it in your drop area. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier. Negate their skills for the duration of the turn. This card gets 5k for the duration of the turn. And you can only play battle cards by using Union Fusion remainder of the turn. So I'm not really sure as to actually what would make this deck appealing before this support came out. This effect is very strong, but you're just critting a life just to gain 5k. Yeah, you're blanking, but it kind of depends on what you're playing against. So we're going to go over the new cards, and you'll kind of see what actually makes this archetype pretty good, I would say. So the first card is going to be the big one, which is going to be Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, Miraculous, the Miraculous Strongest Warrior. So the first thing is this is a Z Awaken on top of the Miracle-Geta, so this is only locked to this archetype. Permanent, this card gains Gogeta. So why this is interesting is that this particular Z leader is a Gogeta BR. I don't know why they did that. I mean, Super Saiyan Blue obviously is only in BR, so that's why they did it. But they also made it sure that it kept the Gogeta tag. And this will be useful probably for later on when they do card design. If they do release any just straight blue Gogeta support, this stuff would work in that, obviously. So, activate main. Well, the other thing is that on the front side, this does not say this on the card, is that you can only include cards that are 5 or less energy cost. You cannot include anything that is 6 or more in the deck. It will not allow you to actually do that. So when this card attacks, you draw 1, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and add it to its owner's hand, and then this card gets 5k power for the turn. So this is a much better version of what the other side was. Second effect, activate main, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, add up to 1 Gogeta with energy cost of 5 from your deck, or drop to your hand, shuffle your deck if you look through it, then choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, and negate their skills for the turn. So this is doing a lot. So this is a much better version of the front side. Essentially, I would say this is sort of a reboot of the leader. You're going to go into Miracle-Geta, and you're going to instantly go into this guy. You probably should spend 0 time on your actual awakened side because it's not giving you any value. So the first card that supports this deck, the actual deck itself, is Goku and Vegeta, Pre-Fusion Warrior. So this is the Z battle card that comes out with the deck. It's a 5k barrier. Activate main if your leader is either the awakened side or the Z leader. You place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. You remove this card from the game, add up to 1 Goku and 1 Vegeta card, both blue and with 20k power from among all cards in your deck, or drop to your hand. Shuffle your deck if you look through those. And then during that turn, the next time you activate a union on a blue Gogeta card in your hand with energy cost of 5, you reduce its energy cost by 1 blue and 1 colorless. Essentially making the 2 targets that you do have for this deck 2 cost cards. So this card does a lot, right? It's a 1-drop, it's got barrier, has the ability of adding back. You basically remove 1 card from your hand to add 2 targets either from deck or drop. And then you get a reduction on your Union Fusion. This card is essentially what's going to make this deck function in the way that I think Bandai wanted it to originally. The second card is we did get another Gogeta target that we can use for fusion. This is a Deflect Triple Strike Union Fusion for 2 blue and 2 colorless. Essentially, this would cost 2 with the Z battle card we just went over. And then auto, when this card is played, draw 1. Choose one of your leaders. Then this card and that card get 5k power for the turn. So this card becomes a 30k, and then you give your leader 5k as well. So your leader will be a 20k. When you swing it, you'll be a 25k as well. And then activate main for 1 blue if you have 4 more energy. Choose up to 1 of your leaders. Switch to active mode, and it gains double strike for the turn. So this is very cool. You actually have a built-in win condition with your leader. And if we go back, so you can see here the card says when this card attacks, draw 1, choose up 20 opponent's battle cards and bounce back to their hand, and then it gains 5k for the turn. This auto is not a once per turn. That's very cool. So essentially, we can make our leader a 20k with this. With this Gogeta, it becomes a 25k, and then we can tap another energy to restand our leader, swing with it again, making it a 30k, and now it has double strike. So these three cards make this archetype sort of interesting to look at now. So we're going to go into the deck profile, and I'll kind of show you guys what I came up with and kind of talk through some of the play lines that I did find when building this deck. Alright guys, so we have the deck list here. I'm going to go over it and kind of show you guys what we came up with. So we have 4 of each of the Fusion Reborns. These are the fusion targets you're going to use in these decks. These are both 20k bodies, so you can grab them off of the Z battle card. And both of these cards are used with a Union Fusion. They both have their own separate skills. So Goku will draw you a card, while the Vegeta will restand 1 of your energy. So essentially, you're paying 2 once you use the Z battle card for a fusion, and you're getting 1 energy back and drawing a card. Not to mention potentially drawing a card off of the fusion as well. So these we want to have as 4 of, as much as so that we make sure that we see them. For Vegeta, Disturbing Harbinger, this card plays very little part in the deck other than just being a 1-drop we can play. So then we can go into our Z leader, just make sure, or our Z battle card to make sure that we have enough Z energy. But it searches top 5 for an Earthling or a Saiyan, so it searches out a good chunk of our deck as well. Since we can't run battle cards, well, basically all of our battle cards are 5 or less. We have 4 Pan and 4 of the Piccolo, the Infiltrators. This is kind of your early non-fusion pieces you're going to use. Pan obviously being a 1-drop draws you a card. Then we can play the Piccolo, which can play Pan from the deck, which will draw us a card. Now it's a 20k dual attacker. 2 of the Goku Blacks. This is because we are going to end up putting in Z energy quite frequently in the deck. This is just a 1-drop that bottom decks a 4 or less and draws us a card. So just a good amount of pressure for 1 energy. We have 4 Vegeta Super Combos. Probably still the best one to play. Bottom deck 1, draw 2, still very good. So then we have the fusions. So we have 3 of the new fusion, Birth of the Strongest Warrior. We have 2 of this guy, which is the older fusion. This is Ultimate Fusion Gogeta. This is from an old Gogeta starter deck. It's got double strike. You pay the same energy cost, so 2 blue, 2 skillless, or 2 colorless. But again, with the Z battle card, this would cost 1 blue and 1 skillless. I mean colorless. I don't know why I keep saying skillless. Sparking 5, if you have more than 5 cards in your drop, when this card's played, you draw 2 cards and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and place at the bottom of the order deck in any order. So with the fusion materials, this is a draw 3 that costs 1, and that bottom decks 2 cards. I would say this is very good for the deck. So this is a definitely good deck to play it in. And then obviously we have the other 5-drop, which is again going to be used to kind of help us push through the game. And give our leader double strike, and we can also just keep drawing cards with being able to restand our leader. We have 3 Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Premonitions of a Fierce Battles. This is a new card from the new Gogeta deck, but we can play it. So it is a 5k combo in our hand if your leader is a blue Saiyan or yellow, which he is. You play him for 2 in the battle step if your leader is blue or yellow Saiyan, and you have 3 more energy, and you have a Z card in your battle area, which we have a Z battle card that we can play. You play it, you can rest any card and then bottom deck a 5 or less while also drawing a card. So this is a very powerful card. Again, another 25k double striker. It's basically what this deck is, just 1 or 2 drop 25k double strikers, which is pretty sweet. Or triple strikers. We have two Pilaf in 2 Android 17. This was just for space purposes. I believe this is at 52 or 53. I wanted to keep it as close to 50 as possible. But these can always just be swapped out if you don't like the peel-off card. You just run 4 17s. I think it's pretty easy to say. I just wanted to show the extra, what you could do with the deck space. 4 D-Magic, 3 Senzu Bean, pretty standard stuff here. We have 4 Zamasu the Eliminators. So this is a card we can charge early on in the game. This is probably the most cuttable card of the list, but I'll show you kind of why we were running it in the deck. So not running a Unison, we don't really see any, you don't see any counterplays or anything in this deck. This would consider be our counterplay. We can tap down any card that's being played, or if it's a 4 or less battle card, we can bounce it back to their hand. So also it can be used as a check land, which is important for 1 card in the deck. But our secret rare is going to be Bursting Rage. So since we can't run Beast Gohan or any of the other cards, if we can't run anything above 6 cost, we need an ability just that can allow us to push for damage. So with our leader being a huge double striker at one point, we can use this, which will give our leader an extra 20k, will draw us the card, and if we're not already in our Z leader, we can go into our Z leader. More likely we're going to be, so this is just going to be a 20k 0 cost combo that draws us a card. Also can use it on defense as a 20k boost, and then it floodgates your opponent from attacking with anything above 25k other than their leaders. This is a very, very good card. I think this is probably a very slept-on secret rare, and if you don't have it, I would purchase it now before it goes up. It's just going to take one person to realize how good this card is, and then the price of this card is going to go up for everybody else. Then we have the Z deck, one of the Z leaders, of course. 3 of the new Goku Vegetas, because we want to make sure that we have it. 1 Son Goku Stronger Together, just a hand destruction card. We can use it to rip our opponent down to 10 cards in hand. There's going to be a lot of decks that draw a ton of cards, so even if you're at 15, 16, 14 cards, being able to remove those cards from your hand for 2 energy is still, I think, pretty valuable. 1 Beerus, and then we have 1 Soul Punisher, the Cleansing Light. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to run the yellow energy. This is really the only reason I'm running the yellow energy, is so we can use this effect. So this gives us another win condition. So if our leader is a blue leader with both Son Goku Vegeta or a blue Gogeta Z leader, you can use the Aegis effect. We don't care about that part, but the activate battle for 1 blue and yellow if you have 5 or more energy, and you have a Gogeta Z leader, which this guy ends up gaining Gogeta. So he does count as a Gogeta Z leader. This card will give the attacking Gogeta Z leader 30k power and double strike. So for 2 energy, you're going up to a 50k triple striker, and then you tack on something like Bursting Rage. We're at 70 without actually using any cards from our hand other than this. So that's a pretty powerful way to win games. The idea of this deck was sort of making it it's almost like a 3-Han light version of the deck. It doesn't obviously have the restriction of the energy, but more so the restriction of the energy cost. So you can't play like Beast Gohan and things like that. So do I think this deck is completely meta? I don't think so. But can people play this and catch people off guard? Absolutely. This is definitely a more aggro version of a blue deck, so again, that's why I kind of put it in a similar ballpark to something of like 3-Han. So being able to also blank your opponent's cards means you can basically just push through anything, right? You don't really have to worry about them having any sort of cards on the field, and being able to blank cards and then use things like Ultimate Fusion. You can basically get rid of any card that's on the board. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck video. If you guys did, let me know. Smash the like button. But hopefully you guys try out this deck. I do think it's a very interesting deck. Definitely something that should not be taken lightly if you do end up playing against it and you play against somebody who understands the play lines. There are definitely a few of those in here. So thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you guys for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.